my residency at Witchwood Asylum for Wayward Women a few years ago, apparently one of their patients escaped shortly after.
Can you blame her? Beastly place.
I know, but it's dangerous for one of them to be out in the world. They really aren't well. It says here that the poor girl suffered from delusion she was a doctor, of all things.
Do you suppose that's how she got out? Just put on a lab coat and walked away?
I doubt it. I remember the guards being much more vigilant than that. I'd hate to think standards started slipping after I left.
What do you suppose she's doing now?
Who? The patient?
Well, you don't suppose she's practicing medicine, do you?
No. That girl's probably dead by now. Any number of terrible things could have happened to a girl like that. Besides, who would be foolish enough to believe someone like that was a doctor? They'd be obviously underqualified, bordering on incompetent at their job.
Alexandra, have you seen my medical bag? I've torn apart the house, but I can't find it.
I think I saw Mr. Ether pass by with it. He said something about needing a new limb bucket.
Edward!
Who? Vera? Don't be ridiculous.
How long have you known her?
Right after Witchwood, she offered me a job.
And does she seem qualified to you?
She may be a little new, but an escaped asylum patient.
No, it's not like someone called Dr. Morphine could be an alias.
Of course not.
Because this is such a reputable hospital. No one here would be a fraudulent doctor.
Right. So this is going to be a friendly chat. There's no need to get aggressive.
I'm not aggressive.
Denial.
Anyway, what can I do for you, Dr. Heroin? I have a patient coming in soon, and this is still my office.
Right. You're a physician, aren't you?
Yes.
How long have you been a physician?
2 years.
Where did you get your license?
Medical school.
Which one?
The usual one.
Interesting. The Royal College of Physicians?
Yes, that's the one.
Because I wrote a letter to a colleague of mine at the college, and there's no record of a Vera Morphine ever graduating there.
Isn't there?
No. Who is your professor?
Oh, well, there were several.
Name one.
Dr. Smith.
Smith.
Yes.
Very generic name.
Is there a point to this, Dr. Heroin?
Well, Dr. Morphine, if that is your real name.
I hardly see how that's relevant.
Apparently, there's an escaped asylum patient masquerading as a doctor in these parts.
Is that all?
This doesn't concern you?
Not hardly. Dr. Heroin, if there is one thing that I have learned from years and years of medicine, is that good intentions can go a long way. And I am sure that this poor girl has had the very best of intentions. So even if she has somehow miraculously started practicing medicine, she can't be doing too much harm. After all, the only thing worse than a bad doctor is no doctor at all.
Is it though?
Good afternoon, Alexandra.
Good afternoon, Dr. Morphine. So, Miss Abby Sinthe, I was down by the train earlier today, and an officer asked if I had seen you. You're not in trouble with the law, are you?
Sure am. Coppers won't catch me, though. I'm subtle.
Of course. And why are they after you, Abby?
Well, they don't like me drugs or the way that I heckle them. Sometimes I throw tomatoes.
That's understandable. Why they'd be after you, not the tomatoes.
Oh, I understand it.
So, where did you get your license to dispense drugs?
Mail order, isn't it? £2 through the post. Why, you want one?
No, thank you. I think that's everything. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. Why do people cook bacon but bake cookies? Never understood that.
You can leave now.
All right, love. Ooh, this is class, this.
This is ridiculous. Nobody here is an escaped asylum patient. They're all perfectly sane.
I'm still on the bacon cookies thing. Why don't we bake bacon?
We should just forget about this. There's nobody left. Let's begin with some standard questions. Is your name really Clara Form?
Yes.
And did you graduate from the Florence Nightingale School of Nursing?
Yes.
Do you like working here?
I love my work.
Do you like your fellow colleagues?
I love my work.
Do you think your fellow colleagues are good doctors?
Maybe she didn't hear you?
Nurse Clara Form, do you think your fellow colleagues are good doctors? Have you ever witnessed any medical malpractice? Have you ever committed any medical malpractice? These are not hard questions, nurse. Have you ever intentionally killed a patient? Have you ever witnessed the light fade from a man's eyes knowing he died by your hands? Have you ever been to Witchwood Asylum for Wayward Women?
No.
Have you ever noticed how creepy that woman is? There's just something unnerving about her. Oh, love.
Are you all right, Alexandra? You seemed a little bit off today.
I'm fine. Thank you.
You sure you're all right, love?
No, I'm fine. Don't fuss over me. My assistant was just telling me a sad story.
All right, well, please let us know if you need anything.
I will. Thank you.
All right, darling.
See? Of course, love. You were right. There are no escaped mental patients here.
No, I'm sure wherever that poor girl is, she's in a much better place than Witchwood.
Is that special someone in your life reading books? Or worse, the newspaper? Does she have opinions? Has she asked you to stop publicly cheating on her with your mistress? Has she ever said the word vote? Never fear, gents. Stop that nonsense at the source. Miss Abby Sinthe's miracle pills will stop those ugly habits in their tracks. In just a few moments, your lovely lady will stop using her mouth for words. In just a few short weeks, your beloved will go from being a three-dimensional human being to a life-size doll. Never again feel threatened by the fairer sex. Cheaper than a lobotomy. It's Miss Abby Sinthe's miracle pills. Side effects may include heart murmur, difficulty breathing, lack of ambition, suicidal thoughts, feelings of regret, wondering how you let it get this far, a complete reevaluation of your life, perhaps a newfound respect for women, you monster. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What kind of sick person buys this? Don't you have a mother? What's wrong with you? I'm going to find your mother and I'm going to write her a letter telling her you bought this and you're just going to have to deal with that at Christmas. I hope your wife makes you a very happy widow, you sicko.
20.
No.
19.
No.
18.
No!
Oh, come on, you're not even negotiating.
Because this isn't a negotiation. You're not getting a raise.
Oh, come on, Vera. You got yourself your own cook, your own grave digger, and your own personal leech collector.
All of those are for the good of the hospital.
Or are I for the good of the hospital?
Well now, Edward, that's a rather dangerous question to be asking, don't you think? Imagine the future of your career if I suddenly figure out the answer.
I do more for the patients than you do.
You do more to the patients than I do. There's a difference.
15% or I walk.
Please do.
Fine, 13, but I ain't going no lower.
If I could be frank for a moment, I would rather die in a house fire trapped under 1,000 tons of burning wreckage, screaming in utter agony, then give you 13%.
Is that a promise?
Hello, love. Stepping out for the day.
Abby, did you get a raise?
Sure did. Up 10%. Bought new glue, did I? Should keep me labels falling off now.
She got 10%?
Yes, because when Abby buys drugs with her salary, it's for the good of the hospital.
Mostly.
Mostly. Besides, I like Abby.
Mostly.
Mostly.
You know what this is? You're jealous.
Jealous of what?
The fact that I actually do something useful around here, instead of just going around delegating work to other people, I'd like to see you act off in appendage.
Don't tempt me. Alright, sorry to interrupt, but I really must get going. Those suckers ain't gonna buy chalk themselves.
Fine, yes, good afternoon, Abby. Now, as I was saying, Don't shush me.
What's down there?
Down where?
The pit.
Oh. I'm sure I don't know. It was there when we bought the house, and she was down there since then. I've never been down there.
Neither have I. In fact, nobody has.
Edward, no.
What?
You can't go down there when she's not there. It's an invasion of privacy.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're not curious about whatever secret she has down there.
Not particularly.
Well, that's because you've got no imagination.
Oh, if we're going to start listing things the two of us don't have.
I need more chloroform.
Oh, I'm sorry, Abby's already left for the day.
I guess we'll have to get it ourselves.
I'm sure it can wait. Oh.
It would be for the good of the hospital.
Well, I suppose.
Right, let's go.
Well, go on then.
You're the doctor. I mean, like, you should go first.
You're the one who wanted to go look at the pit. Is this it?
I think with the 10% rise, you'd get nicer stuff.
You think with a salary she'd live in the house with the rest of us? This is a pit.
Aye to that.
We can go now.
Excellent. Satisfied?
Oh, I don't know. I expected to have like a secret cat down here at least.
It's... How does she just pop out of this so easily?
Who's useless now?
Go on then.
I might.
There's got to be a latch somewhere.
Yeah, of course. No, it can't be stuck.
It's Abby's door. There's some little knob that we're not seeing.
Oh, yeah, of course. A latch of some kind, definitely. Like you said.
Of course, because it can't be stuck.
No, it can't be stuck down here at all. No.
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 I can't believe you got us stuck
This
down
is
here.
your hospital and your leadership allowed
I
this to
am the
happen.
leadership, and you did not listen to me when I said that we should not be down here when Abby is not down here.
Well, we had to do something about the
Isn't it vain?
situation.
Oh my God, I would rather let 1,000 patients die than get stuck in here with you.
Lord, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I promise if you get us out of this pit, I will swear off women, I'll swear off gambling, and I'll swear off the drugs, but only if you get us out of here, because I'm desperate, and please, you have to do something for us. I can't be stuck in this blasted pit for the rest of me life. Oh God, why? Why? Oh, I'm gonna die with you.
Well, this is where we live now.
Yup.
We're going to have to raise our children here.
Yup.
There are worse places, I suppose.
America.
Yeah.
You ever think you would actually end like this?
No, I always supposed I would die in prison. Medical malpractice. I'm not really surprised that you're here, though.
That's fair.
Was this how you thought it would go?
No. I always imagined myself lying face down in an alley somewhere.
In a pile of vomit. Well, if you die on your back, I promise to turn you around.
Thank you.
You know, Edward, since we are going to die here, I suppose there's not really any harm in telling you that, I really would have gone up to 13%.
Really?
You are a very competent surgeon. I assume I haven't really met a wide variety.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Morphine. Well, I suppose if it's going to go out like this, I should probably be honest with you too.
Yes?
I'm not really English.
I'm not English either.
I'm from Aurelia.
I'm from Midland.
I actually am English.
You are?
People found the accent annoying, so I stopped.
Oi! What are you lot doing down there? And a lady entitled to some privacy.
Help me up! Abby, thank God you've come. We've been stuck down there for ages.
I've barely been gone 5 minutes. Left me merchandise on the table and had to come back. Speaking of...
So about me raise,
I'm actually going to dock your pay 5%.
that figures.
Hi, my name is Shayleigh Plant, and I play Dr. Heroin on the Sawbones Society. Dr. Heroin is a woman who suffered from the loss of her mother, and due to that fell into a downward spiral, which got her sent to Witchwood Asylum for Wayward Women. Due to this being there, she got this delusion that she was a doctor treating the patient. She wasn't the patient being treated, and then one day, Newbie was there, she put on a lab coat and walked right out. And then Dr. Morphine found her, and now she's the doctor at the Sawbones Hospital. And she has this assistant, which only she can see, only she talks to, but the others don't tell her that they can't see them, even though they can't. They're just being very nice to her. Going into an asylum, she might have had problems that weren't, by today's standards, they could be treated with drugs and less aggressively, whereas back then they would be treated with restraints and water therapy and would emotionally break someone. So coming out of an asylum like that could have led to the hallucinations, the making her condition a lot worse than it was before. So heroin is a drug derived from morphine, which was an opioid taken from the seed of a poppy plant. Heroin was an over-the-counter pain reliever as well as a sleep aid, and it was usually taken orally. Psychology becoming a distinct discipline is seen as one of the big scientific breakthroughs of the Victorian era. Before this, in the early 1800s, people suffering from mental illness would be referred to a amateur physician who would usually just tie them up in restraints and deal with them that way. They continued with physical restraints into the Victorian era, but they also had different methods in which to treat the patients. Hysteria was doctors' way of diagnosing their female patients as, I diagnosed you with women. If a female patient came in presenting symptoms of anxiety, depression, or hormonal imbalance, the doctor wouldn't know and would just diagnose them with hysteria because they were a woman. The concept of a true woman was highly supported by the populace during the Victorian era. The true woman was the wife, mother, and caretaker of the home, as opposed to the fallen woman, which was a woman who strayed from the path, fell into seduction, and was seen as immoral, often connected to prostitutes. Women being described as the guardians of the home and family led them to being characterized as gentle, emotional, and dependent, and due to this, men believed that they were more susceptible to illness and disease. So, during the Victorian era, women were highly dependent on their fathers and husbands, and the pressure of society and the role they had to play led them to falling into things like anxiety and depression, which would lead them to being sent away to asylums, because then they could be purified, they could be put back together, basically. They were broken, and asylums would put them back together and place them back as true women instead of fallen women, which were immoral women, which if you had an illness, you were immoral. Treatments in Victorian asylums would range from restraints to things like water therapy. So for people who were excitable or aggressive, they would be restrained. And the restraints could lead to other therapy, which included water therapy. Now, water therapy was separated into warm water therapy and cold water therapy. Warm water therapy was where they would put the patients in a bath, lay canvas over top, and just have warm water inside. And it was soothing and helpful for them. And when the water would run cold, they would add more warm water. This was the nicer treatment. Cold water therapy involved tying patients to chairs and dumping buckets of cold water onto their heads. And this could be repeated until the correct response was given by the patient. And then it could also lead to tying patients up to tubs or shower stalls and spraying cold water on their bodies and faces. Or doctors could take the route of submerging the patients into small ponds until they reach the level of unconsciousness, taking them out and then letting them recover. And depending on how doctors were feeling that day, if they would put them back in, return to a state of unconsciousness, take them out again, maybe repeat it a bit, or they would let them recover and then do it the next day. Water therapy was used for numerous things, numerous conditions, and was a very popular method of treatment, since there wasn't a lot of drug treatments at the time. Even though asylums were seen as terrible places for many people, for lower or middle-class women, they could be seen as rest areas because their lives were already very, very hard. And the daily routine of the asylum could be seen as a break to them, like the routine of sewing, knitting, a lot easier than the daily tasks at home.
Slimy little bastard. Hello, Mr. Guy. Oh, greetings, ma'am. Leeches are biting today. Oh, that's what we like to hear. That's your girl, no matter what the ailment. Oh, look at that. A bit thin today. Oh, don't you worry, ma'am. These legs, they'll get all the strongest leeches for you. All right, well, thank you very much. Oh.
Dr. Morphine. Pleasant to see you this evening.
Do you happen to see the bodies up by the house?
Oh, I'm afraid I've gotten a bit sidetracked.
Oh, well, there's been a bit more since this afternoon. Mr. Ethan's on record again.